as the general manager in a candy draft, Mr. Treliving?
Well, stealing's a bit of a, I mean, that's a bit of a hard word. I think at the time it's brought, I've got two daughters, I'd say young daughters, but they're not that young anymore. One's left for school, for university. So a lot of pressure on the young one now. She supplies for the whole family. And I've been known to dip into a Big Turk now and again. So if
Big
those are laying around, and it's very underrated. It gets a lot of heat, but there's one of those laying around, it might not stand a chance.
I just got a tweet. Craig Appleby wrote in. He gave us our top 5. He said Kit Kat, Twix, Snickers, O. Henry Crunch, and then I believe this is 1 trillion. He put Big Turk. That kind of slander. Do you put up with that kind of slander on a Big Turk?
That's I mean, awful. That's just no respect. No respect. Like I said, very underrated. Very underrated.
Understood. All right. I'm not going to be one of those guys that says I saw this coming. I'm not going to be the guy because I didn't. Did you see this kind of start, or at least a rebound from 0-1-1 from your guys?
Well, you never predict, that you're going to go on a specific run. I know everybody, wins and losses gets all the play, and at the end of the day, it's a result-oriented business. But you really take into consideration how your team's playing. And although our results through the first 2 games, as you mentioned, were 0-1-1, we were doing a lot of good things. At the end of the day, you need to get results. But I really liked how our teams played really from day one, from game 1 in Edmonton. We're not giving up a whole lot. We were generating a lot of chances. Our 5-on-5 play has been real good. We're getting strong performances from both goaltenders. And, I think we've had balance throughout the lineup here. So ultimately you needed to turn into W's and game points. But I like there's been a consistent approach, and our game's been pretty consistent from game 1.
So you mentioned the goaltending, and I want this answer to be outside goaltending, because in hockey you could answer everything with, when we get good goaltending, we're good. But what's the biggest thing that you've seen, the coaching staff has seen, that you like from this group?
Well, we've been consistent. Yeah. In this game, you need to be consistent. Individually is what you search for. And then as a group. So our consistency and the consistent game that we're putting out has given us a chance to have success each and every night. And I think the brand of hockey, when we're not giving up a whole lot, it makes us a difficult team to play against. And we're limiting a lot of the chances against. We're making teams earn their chances against us. There's not a lot of space, not a lot of room out there. And that's the key to how we're going to have to play to have success. But I really think, and again, it's a motherhood statement, but and it's really early here.
Yep.
We're talking, we're just through the first couple of weeks, but if you can have a consistent game night in, night out, and know what you're going to expect, that you're putting out there, and we know what our game looks like now when it's good. So, there's a standard that we want to try to live up to each and every night.
I know there was a lot of chatter in the market, especially in the off season, about what happens if this doesn't work this year. Did you and the team feel some added pressure this year?
No, there's always chatter in the market, and especially in the Canadian market, that's part of the, that's just part of the deal. And there's always lots of people that got lots of opinions. We don't put a whole lot of stock into that. We, like I said, coming into the year, we have a lot of faith in the group that we have here. We're past last year, but we had a down year. We underperformed. There's a lot of ability here, and our guys, even talking to them over the course of the summer, they were very determined. It was a very determined group to show that they were capable of much more than what was shown last year. And again, having said all that, I think it's really important to pump the brakes here and know that we're a couple of weeks in. We're whatever we are now, 8 games into the season, so we've got lots of hockey in front of us. But really happy with how committed the group is. I think there's we've made a lot of changes. There's a lot of new faces here, and over the course of the I was concerned over training camp because we went through a lot of stops and starts in camp. We had guys that got injured early. We lost a lot of players throughout the exhibition. We had Blake Coleman suspended, so we weren't really able to get our full group together. So they've come together quickly, and I think Daryl and his staff have done a marvelous job of bringing this all together. So a good start, and that's all it is right now, is a good start. And this game and this league can humble you very, very quickly.
Yes.
So we'll just leave it at that and get ready for our game tomorrow night.
Okay, so let's, I know obviously this early success is leading people down roads, and you've got these wins, and Sean Monahan's got 1 goal and 3 points, but he's being asked to do different things. Do you think you need more out of Sean?
Well, I think everybody, especially with a guy like Sean, immediately points to the production and wonder if we need more. I think Sean, as you alluded to, has found himself in a little bit different role. And one of the things that Daryl and I talked a lot about over the course of the summer is trying to balance our lineup out. And I think you've seen that. And we need Sean to be a good player, and that doesn't necessarily always translate into goals and assists. Now, he's done that over the course of his career. We need him to do that, and we expect him to. That's going to be part of his game. But we just need him to be a good player. He's Sean's really dug in. Like I said, you don't watch the games. You immediately point to goals and assists and wonder if he's struggling. I think his game has been real good. He's been committed on both ends of the ice. He's really. And he's coming off a significant injury where he went through an operation in rehab over the course of the summer. So the game that Sean's giving us right now is exactly the game that we need from him. And I think the fact that he had one go in for him over the weekend will only help his confidence. And he's got an ability to shoot it in the net. Unlike a lot of, it's a special skill that he's got, and I anticipate that will continue.
One of my favorite quotes in sports, because I believe you might be referring to it with Sean Monahan, and I'm going to bring it up in the terms of Andrew Mangiapane, is success is one thing, impact is another. Like, you can not have success but make an impact, and vice versa, and I think that impact is very, very important. Mangiapane is such a great story because he basically walked onto the Barrie Colts. He's a 6th-round pick, and lo and behold, he's a world championship MVP, and he's scoring, he's got 7 goals along with Elias Lindholm. Did you think when you got him that he could develop into the player that he is showing that he is over the last little while?
Well, I think anytime you draft a player and then you have a chance to watch them develop, we always felt that Andrew had the ability to be a good player. And if you look back at his career, once Andrew sort of feels comfortable and feels comfortable at the level it builds. As you mentioned, going to Barrie, as he gets comfortable in the OHL, after year 1, year and a half, he becomes a real successful, impactful player. Goes to the American Hockey League and has a good rookie year. But as he becomes more comfortable with the surroundings, becomes a real impactful player. And then, you can do those at different levels as doing it at the National Hockey League level, which is a whole different animal. But I think as Andrew as he's taken that step to understand how good he can be and gets out of the deferral, which is normal for young players. You tend to defer to whether it be veteran players, whether it be maybe more guys with bigger names or bigger resumes. And once he became real confident that he belongs in the league, that he can be a good player in the league, success has followed. And the story with Andrew is you can say he's sort of come out of nowhere and the path he's come, but it's been a path that's earned. Nobody puts in the type of work that Andrew does. Very few do. Like, he comes early, he stays late. It's a testament to when you put in the work and you dig in and you do a lot extra, you have a chance to have success. And Andrew's a shining example of, all the heavy lifting that he does on a daily basis. If you're around the team, there's very few days that he's not, if not the last guy off the ice, one of the very few, or one of the last guys off the ice that having the success he's having. So good for him and good for us.
Yeah, very good for you, at least this start. Listen, we really appreciate you joining us. And when the Big Turk goes undrafted in our candy draft, I will send it care of the Flames, okay?
Yeah, it's an unheralded free agent, Tim. So just keep your eye on the Turk.
Hey, you guys have had success. Giordano, Mangiapane's got a similar story. The Big Turk just falls in line with this Calgary Flames. Appreciate the time. Congratulations on the early success and best of luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, Tim. Take care.
There is Brad Treliving joining us from Calgary. The best part about that is we didn't even talk about Jacob Markstrom. This is all you have to do. 4-1-1 with a 133 goals against average, a 957 save percentage, and 3 shutouts.